came for the Toastmaster session for the first time as a guest. As it happens in all the sessions with the guest, at the end we asked, how did you find the session today? Did you like it? Same question was asked me. I stood up. To my horror, I found that I was tongue-tied. It was difficult for me to answer that question, the simple question, how did I like Toastmaster, good, bad, ugly? I was one side in awe of the speakers here, and had heard of Toastmasters many times and knew that Toastmasters are very good orators. And I'm going to speak in front of them. I was literally tongue-tied. I did answer to that question, but I'm sure anyone who was present there would have made out how afraid I was to answer the question. Dear Toastmasters, and if there are any guests who are in a similar situation as me, how many of you at some point or other had been to a situation where you're afraid to open your mouth, to speak up? How many of you ever had that situation? Wow. And for those who did not, awesome. All of us, or rather I should say most of us, because some of them did not raise hands, so most of us have the fear of public speaking. And Toastmaster is a platform where we come out of that fear. Today's session is an attempt to give you some tips on how to overcome that fear, how to get out of that. But before I do that, before I get onto the journey, let me ask you, what is that fear called? Wow, you remember that. Good, thank you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, glossophobia. Glossophobia is the fear of public speaking, and we need to overcome that. Glossophobia is made up of two terms, two Greek terms. Glossa, which means your tongue, the one that we speak with, and phobia, the fear. It has been found that glossophobia is more draconian than necrophobia. That is the fear of death. So if this editor, who asserts that capital punishment should be abolished and that is draconian, if he would have been given an option between public speaking and capital punishment, he would say, oh, it is less draconian. At the same time, it has been found that men and women, almost 75% of them, are afraid of speaking in public. But remember, this restricts only to public speaking, the fear of public speaking alone. A husband who is afraid of opening his mouth at home in front of his wife does not fall into this category. That person can be called wise. How do we get out of that? But before we take an attempt, before we take the first step to get out of that, let's understand why are we afraid of public speaking? What makes us afraid? Anyone?
Fear of making mistakes.
Fear of making mistakes? Yes. Bang on.
Fear of language.
Fear of language.
What others will think.
What others will think. Anything else?
Dignitaries on the dais.
People who are there? Yes.
Chance of getting embarrassed.
Yes.
Negative confidence.
Negative confidence. Wow. Good. Or lack of confidence. Yes. I tried to assimilate some of those and put it together. Is it visible? I hope it's not easy. Oh. One of the reasons for glossophobia is we are put in an unknown situation. And that I found happens many times with us because not all the time we are in our comfort zone. Like some months back, I went to attend a wedding. And as it happens in North India, we have a Bharat, a procession from the groom side, which comes and is welcomed by the bride side. And at the end of all that welcome ceremony, someone from the groom side has to stand up and pay the vote of thanks. He has to speak up. My name was proposed. I walked up. Unfortunately, I have hardly attended any wedding apart from my own. But that was for obvious reason. So I was in an unseen situation. I don't know what to speak. What do people come and speak over here? On top of it, I had my phone which was full of WhatsApp jokes which were all against marriages. Now imagine if I go and speak even a single joke out of that at a wedding ceremony, what would the bride family do? Because most of the jokes are against the wives. Now you are at a bride's place and you are going to crack a joke against the bride. Not that. I was completely in an uncharted water. I didn't know what to do. Good thing for me was all the jokes in my phone were in English and I had to deliver in Hindi. So I was saved a bit. All the jokes aside, I tried, I made some words, spoke up. Hindi came to my rescue again. I used some heavy words which some of them would not understand and I made it up. But it happens with most of us at many places. We are unprepared for the situation. What else? Will I be boring? If I am given to speak here for 5-7 minutes, will I be boring? I might be, right? I may not have content. I don't know what I'm going to speak. If I speak something which does not bring in humor, which becomes an overhead transmission, I might end up being boring. But my point is, the most boring person on this podium is a silent man. If you speak something, however unrelated it may be, people will still take away something from you and they will appreciate you. But if you come here, you are called in for a table topic, you come here, stand here for 2 minutes, man, those 2 minutes are too long. You might end up getting an endless supply of tomatoes and sandals. So please speak something. As you say it, what would they say? The audience, what would they say? At least when you speak and if you make some sense, I'm assuming that when you come here, you have your brain still with you and your common sense with you and you make some sense, whatever they say, at least they will not throw tomatoes at you. Not. Another thing is, whatever they say, they will say at your back. They will not say on your face. And why are you worried about what they say at your back? To hell with them. The only person who will come and say at your face will be the person who gives you feedback. And that person has a positive intention of improving you. So take it. Linguistic mastery, as you pointed out. I may not have very good control over language. But so what? The cat, milk, drink. What does it mean? I work with Japanese. And we all know how good English they have. But we still used to communicate. Ladies and gentlemen, communication has single point of agenda. To convey what goes on here to your brain. Grammar, words, other things are secondary. If you are unable to communicate what goes on here, you are a bad communicator. But if you have bad grammar and still you are able to communicate, you are still a good communicator. So why are you afraid? Last weekend, I met a person who was conducting an Aura volunteer program. If you stay with him for 2 or 3 days, speak with him continuously, and then come and deliver a speech here, the grammarian will have a tough time in noting down all the wrong uses that you made, all the improvements. Not a single sentence was grammatically correct. But, man, he had confidence to speak. he led a team of 12 people at an ashram, orphanage. He connected with the kids, he connected with us, and did a positive work, came out. Language, grammar, all these things are secondary. You should be able to speak. If you don't get a word in English, speak something in Hindi and try to get help of someone to translate it. Big deal. Why would that make you afraid? Content, we already talked about. Have your brain with you, have some common sense with you, content will be developed. If you forget your content, assuming that you came for a prepared speech, and you forget your content here, what happens? What happens? What happens?
Butterflies will be flying in our stomach.
Why?
Nobody knows the content.
No one apart from you knows the content. So come and speak whatever you want, man. Big deal. Make some stories. We have lived with ourselves for like last 25, 30, 35 years. Right? And in those 35, if we stay with someone for one day, we might have endless stories about him. If we have lived with ourselves for 35 years and we don't have stories to tell here, come on. Make whatever story. Need not be that story has to be true. No one is going to check your biography for that. If Kapil Dev can play a World Cup match in 2011 or 2015, big deal. No one is going to validate that, right? Have the confidence to come and speak out. I'll tell you one thing. In the world, around 75% of statistics are made on the floor. The way this statistics was made. I didn't know the exact number. And no one goes and opens his smartphone and go to Google and check the statistics. People just listen to you. No one would remember what number it was. If you said 75%, someone comes, hey, it was not 75, it was 47%. Oh, did you hear 75? I said 47 or 57. Whatever. Oh, sorry, I didn't have the number. Or sorry, okay, let me check it. Doesn't matter. At least there you did your job. And that's what matters. Prepare your content on the fly. Have your common sense. Go ahead, tell whatever. People are there to listen. And especially, if you are in a session like this, Toastmaster session, it does not matter what you say. At the end of the day, they will clap for you. So do not worry about that. Fear of failure. Someone pointed out. Fear of failure. That's a big thing. How many of you attempted your IIT entrance examination? How many of you made it? Right? But how many of you attempted it second time? And if you did not get afraid of failing an IIT entrance exam, which was going to build your career, what are you afraid of now? How many of you were kids at some point or other? Still, there are some people who don't raise their hand. Come on. And all of you learned walking, right?
Yes.
First day, did you start jumping and walking and running? No. Imagine if you would not have fallen down. The only reason you would not have fallen down would have been that you never tried to walk. And if you never tried to walk, can you imagine yourself coming into this room? So why afraid of failure? What makes us afraid of failure? Tell me. Anyone?
When you are a success person.
No?
What people
So what? If you are successful, what does it matter to me? There are many CEOs in the world. Doesn't mean that I will join the company as a CEO alone? No. Indeed. Anyone?
What
What
others
others?
think of us.
what
No.
would they say?
Yeah, that also has the same reason. And the reason is this. Ego. Yes, in this world where everything is electronic and E is the buzzword, E is this, that, there's one E, you should let go and you should start going. Take out that E and go ahead. And be brave. How do you define a brave person? Anyone can define a brave person for me?
A blind man working in Bangalore traffic.
Yes, he's a brave person.
Go and stand there and speak.
That is anyway the topic, so nothing new invented.
Going late home.
Going late home with a lipstick mark on your shirt. A brave person is that coward person who overcomes his cowardice in time. Imagine a train is coming full speed. Will you go and stand in front of it? Or will you touch the track at that time?
No.
But imagine a train is coming full speed and little kid is there on the track who doesn't know what happens. Will you go and touch the track? Will you go and grab the kid and jump off?
Yes.
Were you covered? The same person was covered initially. You may call it foolhardy or whatever, but he was afraid of going in front of the track. But was he afraid the next time? No. Does it mean that he was never afraid? A brave person is that person who overcomes his cowardice and his fear in time to deliver something. A brave person is not the one who does not have a fear. No one is born without fear. Alexander was not born without fear. Ashoka was not born without fear. Shivaji was not born without fear. APJ Abdul Kalam was not born without fear. I was not born without fear. All of us are born with a basic instinct called fear. It only matters how fast can we overcome that. So be brave, overcome your cowardice, overcome your fear. And when it comes to public speaking, there is a scientific method how you can overcome that fear. This method starts much before you come and hit the podium, much before you start speaking. I have put some steps which you can follow to overcome that fear. Before even you come to the podium, before you are called onto the podium, start with 3 P's. Plan what you are going to speak. If it is a prepared speech, plan. Write down. Because if you fail to plan, I think you have heard the next line, right? You plan to fail. Good. So plan. Because if you plan and then you come into a situation which is slightly uncomfortable or slightly unknown to you, you still have something to fall back on. Bring that back. Go and link it back. You might be given it, you might have come and prepared on Olympics and you came and you are given a topic of culture program. Who said Olympics cannot be a culture program? Right? Plan something, plan to relate the things, whatever you have prepared, plan to relate it. And prepare your content. I was listening to a TED session by an army man. I think his name was Raghuraman. He told a very good story. He said when he joined army and he was taken to a ring for a boxing practice, after an hour of boxing session, his coach would train by asking him to put his finger down on the floor, go around that finger 20 times. So imagine, you put your finger here, did you try? Anyone? Do that, or never do that rather, I would say. You will feel fizzy. Your brain will not work. You will have a fizzy sensation and vomiting and like you feel like falling down. So this guy was asked to do that 20 times, and after 20 times he was not allowed to sit. After 20 times, after you do 20 times, you get up and then there is a that bag is there, punching bag is there, and you need to keep on punching on. And this guy was surprised, what the hell is going on? I'm already tired. I'm into this situation, and you're asking me to punch it. What the hell is going on? But being in army, he could not question it. He had to do it. One fine day, he was sent to the ring in a real boxing session. A novice, he did not know when to start punching. All of a sudden, the opponent came and gave him a nice punch. Down. And he was like, oh, he had the same sensation. And the opponent thought that, okay, I have a couple of seconds to relax. Let him come back and then I'll give another one. Little did the opponent know that this guy was already used to that kind of sensation. So he was like this and then tap, 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 tap. Opponent gone. It's all in preparation. Get your preparation, get your habit, get it. Don't just make it a habit. Let it flow in your blood. Be prepared in such a way. Prepare and practice. Do that. If you follow that, then the podium looks like a place where you are really welcome. You are not afraid of it. And when you are called onto the stage, most of us have that perspiratory feeling, especially in table topics. Call me. Is he going to call me? Hope not. And the moment someone else is called, relax. Man, the moment you are called, do not just walk onto this floor. Do not rush onto the floor. Stand up, take a long breath. Calm your heart, calm your mind, and then walk in. You walk in, when you walk in here, once you do a handshake, stand erected, straight. Do not stand like this, do not stand like this. Have your shoulder behind your ears, straight. What if there are butterflies in the stomach? Does not matter. Your job is to make sure the person in front of you should not see those butterflies. That's the job. I may be afraid, but why should I go and tell him that I am afraid? That person, the moment she knows that I am afraid, she'll start taking me lightly. Even if I am afraid, let it be within. And little bit of fear is good. It's something like the tension in the string of violin. If you take that off, it will never make music. Let that fear be there, but do not show it to anyone. The violin wire never goes and tells that, hey, I'm straight. Just plays music, period. Keep it within you. And when you are at podium, show your confidence. Be confident in what you're speaking. Be clear in what you speak. You may be grammatically incorrect, but if you're not clear, if you blabber, you don't know what you're going to say, I don't know what you're going to understand, you don't know. So it's better to say that I do not know what I'm going to say, rather than say, I don't know what I'm going to say. Be clear at least. At least your communication part will be done. People will understand what you're saying. Connect with your audience. Imagine all of us are software person here. I'm assuming all of us are in the same bracket who have long forgotten how to work. And here someone comes and gives you a lecture on hard work. Man, hard work is the key to success. What is hard work? Yes, I learned something in the college. Connect to the audience. Even if you have to say hard work, take them from, that people have not worked for a long time. Take it easy and bring them to that level. Connect with them. And be creative. As I said sometime back. It's your story, come on. No one knows what you're going to speak. Many times, even you do not know what you're going to speak. Like when I walked in, I really did not know what I'm going to speak. I did not have anything prepared, except for the slides. Be creative. Make some stories here. Think of some stories that you have heard from your nani, dadi and all that. Or some stories that happened with you. Right? Things can be related in any way. And if you try to relate, someone does not understand, that's his problem. But be creative. If you are creative, people will appreciate you for that. If you are clear, people will appreciate you for that. If you are confident, people will listen to you. And if you are able to connect with people, then they are going to do the same thing as you are going to do. Clap. Thank you.